Hello, Middle 3. Now we will start unit 3, which is called the universe and the solar system. Okay? First of all, although the universe is full of millions of stars, okay, they are not enough to light this vast universe. يعني I have millions of stars, these stars are shining, okay, and have light, but also still the universe is dark. Why? Because there are billion kilometers of cold dark space among the stars. The stars are not enough to light all this vast universe. Okay? There are billion kilometers of cold dark space. What's meant by the word universe? Universe is the wide extended space that contains galaxies, stars, planets, moons, and living organisms. That contains everything around us. يبقى اليونيفرس هي wide extended space that contains everything around us. Stars, planets, moons, living organisms, and galaxies. Okay? Take care that the universe is very, very vast. Okay? It's very big. The sun and earth are tiny parts of the universe. The universe contains over 100,000 millions of galaxies. And now we will know what's the meaning of galaxies. Galaxy, okay? Galaxy is a group of stars that rotate in space by the effect of gravity. I take a group of stars, they rotate together in a certain shape or certain way, okay, by the effect of gravity, and I call these stars or this group of stars a galaxy. Okay, each galaxy has a distinctive shape according to the harmony and order of groups of stars in it. Okay, each galaxy has its own shape according بقى للorder of groups of stars in it. Galaxies gather in clusters, which is a group of galaxies rotate together in space by the effect of gravity. A lot of galaxies together, they are called galaxy cluster, okay, which is a group of galaxies rotate together in space by the effect of gravity. Let's talk about a certain galaxy which is called the Milky Way galaxy. What's the Milky Way galaxy? It's the galaxy that contains our solar system. The Milky Way galaxy, it's our galaxy. The galaxy that contains our solar system, the sun. Okay? A lot of old stars gather in its center, surrounded by recent small stars located in the spiral arms of the galaxy. Look at the picture as you see here. This is the shape of the Milky Way galaxy. A lot of old stars gathers in the center, okay, surrounded by recent small stars located in the spiral arms of the galaxy. Old stars in the center surrounded by small stars or recently stars located in the spiral arms of the galaxy. The sun بقى is one of the stars that rotate around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. It contains the sun and the solar system. The sun is one of the stars, the recent or small stars which located or that rotate around the center of the galaxy. تمام؟ located in one of the spiral arms. Why it was called by this name, Milky Way galaxy? Because it appears in the sky at night as splashing milk or spreading straw. Let's talk now about our solar system. What's the solar system? I think we studied this before a lot of times. It's the sun and the 8 planets revolving around it. The solar system is one star, which is the sun, and 8 planets, including the Earth, revolving around it. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay? The sun and the solar system revolve around the center of the Milky Way galaxy, taking about 220 million years to complete one rotation around the center of the galaxy. As we said before, that the sun is a recent star, a small star, okay? It's located in one of the spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy, and it rotates around the center of the galaxy. Okay, the sun is not alone. The sun have its solar system with it, which is the 8 planets. So the solar system, all of them together with the sun, the planets with the sun, revolve around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. it takes 220 million years to complete one rotation around the center of the galaxy. So imagine how vast the universe is. يعني this is very small part or tiny part of the universe. يبقى solar system والsun takes 220 million years to complete one rotation around the Milky Way galaxy. The planet of life, take care that the planet of life, it may come as a scientific term, the planet of life is the Earth. Okay? طيب يبقى the universe is divided or consists of a lot of galaxies or galaxy clusters. Okay? طيب one of the galaxies, one galaxy called Milky Way galaxy, it contains a lot of stars. One of the stars is the sun, which contains the solar system, and one of the solar system is our planet Earth. So يعني imagine how small or how vast is the universe, how small is the Earth according to the universe. Okay, look at this picture. Universe is يعني take part of the universe is the galaxy, take part of the galaxies is the Milky Way galaxy, part of it is the sun, and part of the sun or the solar system is the Earth, our planet Earth. Okay? طيب, let's talk now about a new term called a light year. What's a light year? A light year is the distance that light travels in a year. The distance that light travels in 1 year. طيب, this distance is 946,000 million kilometers. 946,000 million kilometers. So imagine how vast is the universe. I repeat this every time because you have to imagine يعني. Why the light year is used to measure distances in space? Because they are so vast. Okay, it cannot be measured in kilometers or in meters. It cannot be measured like this. So I need to measure it in light year. Okay, so it's 946,000 million kilometers. Now we will talk about the main point in our lesson, which is how did the universe originate? How our universe started, okay? طيب, many scientists believe that the universe originated from a massive explosion which was called the Big Bang, okay, 15,000 million years ago, which resulted in all forms of matter, energy, space, and time. يعني a lot of scientists believe that the universe emerged from a massive explosion يعني something exploded, and this explosion was called the Big Bang theory or the Big Bang. Okay, it was 15,000 million of years ago, and this resulted in all forms of matter, energy, space, and time, everything. Okay. The matter of the universe was originally a gaseous ball of high pressure, high temperature, small volume, and constant expansion. يعني the universe was before the Big Bang, it was a gaseous ball. Okay, it has very high pressure, very high temperature, and very small volume and constant expansion. It was expanding continuously, okay, until the Big Bang occurred. There was no one to relate what happened. Of course, there was no one living at this time. But the recent discoveries in physics and astronomy enabled the scientists to trace the history of the universe from the first second fraction of its evolution. Okay, the Big Bang theory was developed since 1933. In 1933, people, when they discovered a lot of things in physics and astronomy, they developed the Big Bang theory. Okay, let's start talking about the Big Bang theory and see what's the meaning of it. The Big Bang is a massive explosion 15,000 million years ago, which resulted in all forms of matter, energy, and time. This is the first definition, or it can be defined as the expansion of the universe and merging of atomic particles forming helium and hydrogen gases. We will discuss this in details after word. Okay أو يعني when you move on in the video. يبقى it have two definitions. It's a massive explosion 15,000 million years ago which resulted in all forms of matter, energy and time, or it is the expansion of the universe and merging of the atomic particles forming helium and hydrogen gases. طيب, first of all, 15,000 million years ago, the universe was very small and very hot. We said that the universe was a small gaseous ball with very high temperature, very high pressure, and small volume. Okay, and then the Big Bang explosion occurred. Okay. طيب, يبقى since 15,000 million years ago, the universe was very hot, and through the Big Bang, the process of expansion and changing started, and it continues till today. يعني it's still expanding. يعني the universe is still expanding till today. طيب, after minutes, that's what happened through the Big Bang theory. Number one, the process of expansion and changing of the gaseous ball components started, and it continues to this day. Number two, within the first minutes after the explosion, what happened? The atomic particles merged together, producing helium and hydrogen. The temperature becomes 10,000 million degrees. The atomic particles produced from the explosion merged together, producing gaseous clouds of hydrogen and helium gases with a percentage of 75% to 25% respectively. These hydrogen and helium gases over the years produced the galaxies, stars, and the universe as we know today. يبقى within minutes after the explosion happened, the temperature became 10,000 million degrees. The atomic particles produced from the explosion merged together, producing gaseous clouds of hydrogen and helium in a percent of 75 to 25 respectively. Okay. طيب. After 1,000 million years, after 1,000 million years from the Big Bang, 1,000 million years or 1 billion years, they are equal. يعني 1,000 million or 1 billion. What happened بقى? The gaseous clouds merged, forming homogeneous masses which will produce the matter of galaxy. Very well. Let's talk again. يعني the explosion happened, okay? The process of expansion started. The gaseous ball components started to expand. طيب, number two, within minutes after the explosion, what happened? The temperature becomes 10 billion degrees. The atomic particles merged together, producing gaseous clouds of hydrogen and helium gases. Okay, طيب, number three, after 1,000 million years, what happened? The gaseous clouds, which were the hydrogen and helium, merged, forming homogeneous masses which will produce the matter of galaxies afterwards. Okay, this was after 1,000 million years. طيب, then number four, after within 2,000 to 3,000 million years, what happened بقى? The gravity helped in gathering of more masses, forming ancestral galaxies, leaving areas of empty spaces between them, as you see in this picture. يعني within 2,000 to 3,000 million years after the Big Bang, what happened? Gravity بقى helped in gathering الماسس دي اللي كانت موجودة homogeneous masses, gathering them together, forming ancestral galaxies, leaving areas of empty spaces between them. Okay? طيب, then after number five بقى, after 3,000 million years from the Big Bang, after 3,000 million years, what happened? The galaxies began to form. Okay, يبقى after 3,000 million years, the galaxies began to form in the shapes that we see today. Okay, أو in the shapes that's يعني definite shape. Each galaxy have its definite shape أو its unique shape. طيب, what happened afterwards? After 5,000 million years from the Big Bang, after 5,000 million years, our galaxy اللي هي the Milky Way took its disk form. our galaxy بقى started to be formed أو to be in this shape as we see today, the disk form. Okay. طيب number 7, after 10,000 million years أو 10 billion years from the Big Bang, the sun was born. The sun was born. Our sun بقى was there in the spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. And the Earth and planets were created. طيب, how they were created? We will see the theories of the solar system origination after we finish this part. Okay? يبقى after 10,000 million years, the sun was born and then the Earth and planets were created. طيب, number 8 بقى, after 12,000 million years, after 12 billion years or 12,000 million years, the earliest life forms began to appear on Earth. The earliest life forms, يعني dinosaurs بقى والthing اللي هي earliest life forms before that before the human beings were on the Earth يعني. Okay, appear after 12,000 million years. بعدين at last after بقى 15 billion years أو 15,000 million years, the universe as it is now. Okay, this is the last part. These 9 steps are the steps from the Big Bang theory or from the Big Bang explosion till now. طيب, notice that the universe was formed almost in homogeneous parts. يعني universe was homogeneous parts before. During the expansion, matter started to merge in masses inside it. Matter started to merge together in masses, forming masses. The gravity helped in gathering of more masses, leaving areas of empty spaces between them. يعني after the masses were formed, gravity بقى helped in the يعني more masses to be يعني gathered together, okay? Leaving areas of empty spaces between them. At the end, areas of gathering matter produces stars and galaxies. طيب, we will do some experiments يعني to explain the expansion of the universe. You can do it also at home. Okay? How we will do this experiment? You will need water, you will need flour, you will need bread yeast, okay, and a glass container. You will put everything together, mix some flour and some of the bread yeast with water to make a bread dough, okay. Insert some raisins in the dough, okay, some raisins in the dough. We will need water, flour and bread yeast, and we will add raisins. And a glass container, of course. طيب, after we put the water with the flour and the bread yeast in the glass container and make a dough, we will add the raisins in the dough. Then we will leave the dough to ferment in a warm environment. Okay, طيب, what we will see, the observation. طيب, observation, when the dough expands, يعني when the dough is fermented, okay, and it starts to expand after the fermentation, I will see that the grains of raisins become apart away from each other, okay, as the time passes. طيب, the continuous expansion of the dough is the expansion of the universe. The separations of raisins is the separations of galaxies from each other. Okay, it's the same as what happens in the universe. يبقى the conclusion is the universe is in continuous expansion. Okay, it's all the time the universe is expanding and the galaxies are يعني moving away from each other. يبقى the swelling of the dough is the expansion of the universe. The separation of the grains of raisins is the separation of the galaxies from each other. The increasing the distance between grains means the continuous expansion of the universe. Okay, but this experiment will show us the we will conclude from this experiment that the universe is in continuous expansion. Okay. طيب. Now we will talk about بقى the second part of the lesson, which is the theories about the evolution of the solar system. Theories about the evolution of our solar system. As I told you before, that after the Big Bang, يعني the sun and the stars or the planets were originated. طب how they were originated? We have 3 theories talking about the evolution of our solar system. Okay, there are many scientific and philosophical theories about this evolution. They are about maybe 20 theories. Okay, we will study 3 theories only this year. Number 1 is called the nebular theory, and we will start also another theory which is called the crossing star theory and the modern theory. Let's start now with nebular theory, the first one. طيب, nebular theory يعني in 1796 a French scientist which was called Pierre-Simon Laplace in 1976 published a research. This research was called World Order. This research included a perception of Laplace about the evolution of the solar system. طيب, يبقى a French scientist called Pierre-Simon Laplace in 1796 he published a research. This research was entitled World Order. Okay, this research included a perception of Laplace about the evolution of the solar system. طيب, this perception which won a great reputation for a century. يعني a lot of time after that this theory was excellent according to the scientist. Okay, طيب, has been affected by 2 observations. This theory was affected by 2 observations. Number 1, there is something that looks like clouds or nebula in the space. There is something look like clouds or nebula in the space. طيب, number 2, the space contains many cloudy rings surrounding some planets such as the rings of Saturn planets. يعني the space contains many cloudy rings surrounding some planets such as the rings that surround Saturn. These was the two observations that affected Laplace أو Pierre-Simon Laplace. Okay, طيب, what was the theory بقى? There was assumptions in the theory which said that the solar system was a glowing gaseous sphere revolving around itself. يبقى assumption of the nebular theory, the first assumption is the solar system was a glowing gaseous sphere, as you see in the picture, revolving around itself. This sphere was called the nebula. Okay, يبقى solar system was a glowing gaseous sphere revolving around itself and it was called the nebula. طيب, what's meant by nebula? It's a glowing gaseous sphere revolving around itself from which the solar system was originated. طيب, what happened then? The theory said that there are 3 phases. Number 1, over the time, as the time passes, the nebula lost its heat gradually. Okay, then its size contracted and the revolving speed around itself increased. يبقى over the time the nebula lost the heat. يعني أول حاجة النبلة دي was glowing gaseous sphere. Okay, it was a very high temperature. Then it lost its heat gradually, so the size contracted and the revolving speed around itself increased. طيب, what happened? Under the effect of the centrifugal force of the revolving, تمام? Centrifugal force means the revolving around itself. يبقى under the effect of the centrifugal force, the nebula lost its sphere form and became a flat rotating disk. يبقى number 1 أول حاجة the solar system was a glowing gaseous sphere. Then as the time passes, the heat decreased gradually, so the size contracted and the speed of the revolving around itself increased. طيب, under the effect of the centrifugal force, the nebula lost its sphere form. The sphere form was lost and it became a flat rotating disk. طيب, بعد كده number 4, parts got separated from the flat rotating disk to form gaseous rings that also rotate in the same direction of the nebula, as you see here in the picture. يعني ال rotating disk ده parts got separated from it. بعض الأجزاء منه got separated, okay, by the effect of the centrifugal force, to form gaseous circles, which rotate in the same direction of the nebula, and these gaseous circles also rotating in the same direction. طيب then what happens? These gaseous circles أو rings cool down. Okay? يعني حصل لها freezing, forming بقى the planets. The flaming masses remained in the center forming the sun. يعني the rest of the nebula أو the rest of the glowing sphere remained in the center forming the sun, while the parts that were separated from the nebula, the gaseous rings, cooled down and formed the planets. Okay? This was the first theory, which was called the nebular theory. Okay? This was developed in 1796 by the French scientist Laplace. طيب, let's talk about the second theory of the solar system evolution, which is called the crossing star theory. The crossing star theory. The crossing star theory was in 1905 by Chamberlain and Moulton. Two scientists called Chamberlain and Moulton in 1905 made the assumptions of this theory, the crossing star theory. أول حاجة, in the solar system, it assumed that the solar system was originally a big star, which is the sun. Okay? Solar system, at first, it was a big star. طيب, what happened then after that? Another huge star approached the sun. Another huge star came near the sun. طيب, what happened? This star attracted the sun's material to it, which led to a great expansion in the part of the sun facing it. يبقى this star عملت attraction للsun's material, which led to a great expansion. حصل expansion من الsun material. Okay? البارت اللي هي facing the other star. طيب, this expanded part, البارت اللي حصل له expansion ده حصل له exploded, and a very long gaseous line was formed. البارت اللي حصل له expansion ده حصل له explosion. Okay? لما حصل له explosion, a very long gaseous line was formed that occupied the distance between the sun to the last planet. It made a gaseous line from the sun to the last planet known now. Okay? This was a gaseous line. طيب, the sun escaped from the gravity of that star due to the explosion. أول ما حصلت بقى explosion, الsun قدرت تعمل escape from the gravity of the star اللي كان بيعمل لها attraction. تمام؟ طب what happened بقى? gaseous line خلاص was formed of a great length from the sun until the last planet. طيب, what happened then? The gaseous line started to condense. Okay? Started to condense due to the attraction force. Then it cooled, forming the planets. حصل له cooling بقى, forming the planets as we know now. يبقى this was the crossing star theory. يبقى the crossing star theory, it assumed that the solar system was a big star, very big star. We will call it the sun. Okay? Another huge star came, it's called the crossing star, came near the sun, okay, and it started to attract the sun to it. So what happened? It made a great expansion in the part of the sun facing it. طيب, expanded part ده لما حصل له explosion leading to أول ما حصل explosion للبارت expanded ده, الsun قدرت تهرب أو قدرت to escape from the gravity of the other star. والgaseous line ده which was formed of a great length من الsun until the last planet. حصل له cooling down وبعدين حصل له forming the planets. Okay? This was the crossing star theory. طيب, let's talk about the third theory, which is the modern theory of the world. The modern theory of the world. The modern theory of the world was in 1944 by a scientist called Fred Hoyle. Fred Hoyle built this theory on the origin of the solar system on the basis of well-known astronomical phenomena known as stars explosion phenomena. طيب, يعني Fred Hoyle ده made this theory in 1944 based on the origin of well-known astronomical phenomena which was called the stars explosion phenomena. طيب sometimes when you look at when you see a star which greatly glows for a short time to become one of the most shining stars in the sky. Sometimes when you look in the sky you see a glowing star, okay? It glows for a short time and then it got dark again, okay? Or the glowing disappears. طيب this phenomena was called the star's explosion phenomena. Okay, it's a glowing of a star for a short time to become one of the most shining stars in the sky. Then its glowing disappears gradually to return to its normal nature. This is called the star's explosion phenomena. طيب, what happened after a day or two? This glow disappears gradually to return to its normal nature. طيب, this glowing بقى, what's the reason of this glowing? Why this glowing happened? Due to the explosion of the star as a result of nuclear reactions that occur suddenly and violently, bombing huge amounts of gaseous materials. Then size and shining of the star increases. يبقى this glow was due to the explosion of the star. طيب, why did the star exploded? As a result of nuclear reactions that occur suddenly and violently, bombing huge amounts of gaseous materials. Then the size بقى والshining of the star increases. طيب, when the bombed gas, when الجاز اللي طلع دي كلها are cooled, the shining returns as it was. Okay, the shining disappears, or the glowing disappears. طيب, this is the star's explosion phenomenon. طيب, the reason as we said due to the explosion. طيب, why did Fred Hoyle بقى أو Fred Hoyle took this phenomena and build his theory أو build his assumptions based on this phenomenon? He assumed that the solar system was originally a star rather than the sun. يعني السولار سيستم بتاعنا كان a star. Okay, the existence of a star rotating near the sun. This star was rotating near the sun. But what happened? The star exploded due to huge nuclear reactions. Okay, الستارز دي أو الستار اللي هي جت near the sun دي حصل لها explosion due to the huge nuclear reactions as the star explosion phenomena. طيب, the force of the explosion led to the bombing of the star's nucleus away from the sun. This explosion caused the nucleus of the star to fly away far from the sun. What remained? A cloud of gases remained subjected to cooling and contraction process forming planets. What remained from the star? A gaseous cloud. This gaseous cloud was subjected to cooling and contraction processes forming the matter of planets. Then بقى the attraction force of the sun found that a gaseous cloud was around it, so it controlled it by its attraction force, controlling the orbits of the planets around it. Okay? This was the last theory, which is called the modern theory of the world, which was by Fred Hoyle. Okay? طيب, يبقى we have one theory for the origination of the universe, which is the Big Bang theory. One theory only. Okay? طيب, but we have three theories for the origination of the solar system. One theory for the universe origination, okay? While we have three theories for the solar system origination. What are the three theories? Nebular theory, crossing star theory, and modern theory. You have to know the date, okay, and the scientist and the assumptions of each theory. Of course, the astronomers and the scientists used special equipments to study the sun. Okay, the scientists want to study the space, so they need special equipments or instruments to study the space or study the sun. These equipments may be centered on Earth or carried into the space. Okay, طيب, from these equipments, something called the solar telescope. The solar telescope is placed on Earth or centered on the Earth. Okay. It's used to form a picture for the sun. But how does it work? It works on reflecting the sun rays downward to a concave mirror, okay, in a tunnel under the Earth's surface. The sunlight is gathered, then separated into a solar spectrum by the spectrometer. It works on reflecting the sun rays downwards to a concave mirror in a tunnel under the Earth's surface. A picture of the sun is formed in a monitoring room where astronomers can study its light. تمام؟ the sunlight بقى is gathered, then separated by the spectrometer into a solar spectrum, as you see here in this picture, showing different light wavelengths emitted by the sun, which are studied by astronomers to get information about the sun. Okay? يبقى after the reflection of the sun rays, okay, to a concave mirror, so they form a picture for the sun, okay, in a monitoring room. The astronomers can study the light. This sunlight is gathered, then separated into a solar spectrum by a device called spectrometer. This shows different light wavelengths emitted by the sun. الساينتست بقى أو الأسترونومرز study this information أو study this light أو wavelengths emitted by the sun to get information about the sun. Okay? Another instrument أو another equipment is called the Hubble telescope. What's the Hubble telescope? It was a telescope that was launched in the space, okay? It was launched into space. It was sent to the space. Where? When? In April 1990. In April 1990. It rotates around the Earth at a height of 500 kilometers. It rotates around the Earth at a height of 500 kilometers. It collects photos for the universe that give us details about its state since millions of years. يعني هي بتفضل rotate around the Earth, okay, at a height of 500 kilometers, collecting photos for the universe. These photos gives us details about the state since millions of years of the universe, okay? So these photos give the astronomers an opportunity to study the evolution of the universe after the Big Bang. يعني when they see the photos of the pictures, they can study the evolution of the universe. The astronauts on a space shuttle regularly maintain this telescope in space. يعني astronauts go on a space shuttle, okay, to maintain the telescope in the space, or to take care of the telescope and to collect the photos from it and so on. Now this lesson is finished, which talks about the universe and the solar system. It's very, very important. You have to know that you have one theory for the origin of universe, which is the Big Bang theory, and three theories for the origin of the solar system, which are nebular theory, crossing star theory, and modern theory. You have to know the founder of each theory and the date on which each theory was founded, okay, and the assumptions أو idea of the theory. At last, you have to know that you have two equipments or two instruments, which are the solar telescope and the Hubble telescope. The solar telescope is centered on Earth, while the Hubble telescope is sent to the space, okay? يعني we have two types of equipment. Sometimes they are centered on Earth or carried into the space to study the sun or to study the universe, to study the space, and so on. So this lesson is finished, and I hope you understood it, and I hope you study well. See you inshallah in the next video. We will talk inshallah about unit 4, which is biology inshallah. See you inshallah next video. Bye bye.